Hi, this is Talk K Dramas with Bruce and Alice.
Hey,
Extracurricular Episodes 7 and 8.
no, 8 and 9.
8 and 9. I was like, dang it, I got it. Okay.
You got it. We still got it.
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And so, episode 8, we finally get the backstory on why Jisoo values Mr. Lee so much. Sentence number 2, as Kite tries to find Minhee's pimp, Ree goes to meet with the gangster, but find Jisoo in her place. That was a really complicated sentence there. And then lastly, Mr. Lee escapes the hospital while the bad guys find Ree.
Wow, this episode, this drama gotten pretty intense.
Yeah, imagine writing. It's like, to me, I'm like looking at this and imagine writing Breaking Bad in one season. That's what they're doing, right? It's like they had to go through all the things that Breaking Bad went through. And if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, folks, that's your fault. It's on Netflix. Make that happen as one of our favorite all-time series. TV series. It's an amazing series. But since they wrote it in like 4.5 seasons, it's like there was a lot of dead episodes. And so, like I said, just imagine if they did all that they had to do in Breaking Bad and in one season, and then you get Extracurricular, because this one is hot, revved up like big time. It took it when they did this one. I was like, man, they took a real turn on this one. They really made this thing, amp this thing up 1,000-fold.
Yeah.
When she got kidnapped.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's an intro scene here where it shows, like you said, the backstory to Mr. Lee and how Sue met, which was so interesting because we might have mentioned that in one of the episodes, wondering how they met. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been saying from the beginning, like, Mr. Lee is far more intriguing as a person and a character than the main characters, quite honestly. And so I was hoping to get even more, but we didn't.
We got a little bit in 8 and 9, but what we see as Sue was getting beaten up by some school kids, and Mr. Lee shows up and kind of saves Sue. And then, okay, so this is interesting. So Sue leaves a cell phone on Mr. Lee to give him a call.
Yeah.
So did Sue already have his business going?
For sure.
And so that's why he was like, look, I need somebody like him.
Yeah, no, for sure, because that was the money. The bullies were surprised
that he had all that money.
He had all that money.
So he was already.
I should say that's the implication.
Yeah.
The implication.
Well, then who was he using as his security?
Probably no one.
But remember how he said, I offer a security, or what is it? What was his big thing in the beginning? That he's not a pimp. I offer security services.
Yeah. Something like that.
Insurance. So what was he insurance? So what was he offering before? That was
that's a great question.
Did he have somebody else he didn't like?
Yeah.
Or did he not? And that kind of begs the question: is he a pimp? He was a pimp. He wasn't offering. If he wasn't offering.
Yeah. Even later on, I don't know if it's this episode or the next one where he actually changes his own language and calls himself a pimp.
It was kind of like a dream. He was having like a dream or a daydream.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming to the realization, oh snap, I am a pimp.
Which, I mean, I'm going to tell you, in the mind of a teenager, I actually can see this literally unfold. It's like, this is believable to me. It's not like it was a full-on adult and then they're like, no, this is what I do. And they're lying to themselves. This kid really believed that he was not a pimp and then kind of realized like, oh, no, I am a pimp. That's what I am.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So from last episode too, we see Ree saying that she was going to go take care of the bad guys.
Yes. Meet the psychos.
And so there's a little scene here where Sue tells her, do as you please.
Right.
And then we also see there's like an intro before they do the whole commercial, whatever thing for the episode.
Yeah.
I don't want to say commercial, but
The introduction.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we see, this is so funny. Okay, the two, you're calling them gangsters, the boyfriend to, Mi Jung, him, and he has a sidekick, a friend. And they're so kind of goofy, and they have we talked about it last time. They have like a little bit of standards,
Yeah.
like a tiny bit,
Yeah.
which makes them kind of funny characters. But and then they're also kind of smart. I think they don't think out their actions all the way through.
Right.
But this is
very impulsive. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the point where you see them and they have a box and full of money, rolled up money, and they put a GPS at the bottom of the box. And we don't quite sure what's happening there right now. But what ends up happening is they're using that, and they're going to give it to Sue.
Right.
Later on. But there is a GPS in there, and they're kind of paying them, right? Kind of giving them a welcome gift.
Yes.
To the business. But this is funny. I thought it was funny.
Paying for that, yeah, they wanted to pay for Mr. Lee's medical expenses.
Is that what that was for?
Yeah.
I didn't hear them say that.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Oh, okay. Well, when the two guys were fixing the box, and it was interesting because he says, Ryu, I think that's his name, the gangster boyfriend. He says, let's use methods befitting the fourth industrial revolution. I don't know what that is, and I didn't look it up, but they make mention of that. His girlfriend, Mi Jung, makes mention of that later on. Do you know what that is exactly, and why they're choosing the fourth industrial revolution? Okay. I'm not
going to act like I know.
Thank you. So we'll keep going. Let me see. And then we see bits and pieces of Kite looking for
Minhee's pimp.
And what's interesting, because
she was did it happen this episode or last episode where he's like, there's no way she's doing this by herself. That was his thing. It's like, there's no way she's doing it by herself.
So my question was, and maybe we talked about it, does he really like her? Is he really trying to find the pimp because he doesn't want to blame Minhee? Because does he really care for Minhee? I don't know. You don't have to answer unless you have an opinion, but part of me is wondering, like, does he really care about her? And so he wants to, find the pimp to have somebody to blame.
Yeah.
Or is it just to do it?
I think that we're definitely led to believe that he has genuine feelings for Minhee, and he needs a fall guy.
Yeah.
He needs someone to say, if it wasn't for you, Minhee would be pure as the driven snow, if you would. And we know that that's not the case, because that's not the kind of drama that we're watching, and that's not how sex works in the fourth industrial revolution. And so yeah, it's like I said, this is still an empowerment model. The only mistake, well, I'll get to it when we get there, but really the only mistake that we're seeing that's causing all the disruption, if you would, is hiring Minhee, who was underage, and Jisoo should have known. I'm confident he knew. But if he was working with of age girls, we're led to believe, right? The writing would lead us to believe that if he wasn't working for underage, or wasn't employing underage girls, this might be a whole different. This would be risky business, where we will get to enjoy the relationships that happen versus being in a life or death struggle. Right,
detectives getting involved, and
it would be a whole different feel if these were all if it was at age girl, or legal, if you would.
So there's a few scenes where Sue tries to get into contact with Mr. Lee again through a phone, like as uncle. He tries to leave him the phone. It never works out because Minhee walks in, or Mr. Lee wakes up, so he's never able to leave him that phone to say, contact me.
Yeah.
So they're still not in contact. As uncle.
Correct.
Because Mr. Lee apparently doesn't know who Sue is, that Sue is uncle.
Yeah.
And then we see a scene where Kite talks to Ree and asks her, and it kind of brings it up. Remember, you were saying when Kite was beating up Sue, and you were like, look, it doesn't explain why Ree comes and defends Minhee.
Correct.
And Kite, I think he does mention it.
Oh yeah, he does.
Her, like, why are you sticking up for her? So I'm wondering, so now Kite is starting to, I think, question, like, things don't sound right.
Correct.
There's something more going on.
Yep.
And
yeah, Kite is not as dumb as Ree is making him, or he's not as dumb as Ree thinks he is. And she realizes that as he's asking her those questions. And so then she has to come up with some BS girl power thing, which within the context of the movie makes perfect sense, right? She's like, look, I'm a girl, she's a girl, I was covering for, for a girl. And he was like, are girls really like that tight with each other? And the answer is no. Girls are really not that tight with each other. And so but Kite is a little bit gullible. He's on the slower side, but it started, the puzzle pieces don't fit. And even someone who's not necessarily all that bright can figure out that it's like, these puzzle pieces don't fit at all. What's going on here? So
something's not right. We see Minhee and Sue talking, and she tells him, I want to tell the cops everything. And so he's trying to persuade her not to. She's like, I won't go to jail, just the pimp.
Yep. The bad guy in all of this.
He deserves to get effed.
Yep.
She says, really?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's empowerment. She had, she chose to do this.
Again, like I said, if Jisoo would have just not employed an underage girl, things would have been like I said, we would have felt very different at this moment, right? And so she's literally playing the blame game, and it's like, you made the decision.
But he's underage too, so you got two underaged.
Yep.
Okay.
But if he gets so consequences will be different for him. He says
he tries to persuade her, and he says, if you don't lie, you might die.
I know, now he plays a bluff.
I know. He's like, the guy might do something to you. Like the pimp might come after you. Okay. And which
made him eminently uncool at that moment, right? It's in like survival. He's trying to protect. He's doing things that make sense to me. I'm not saying that he became unlikable, but that was like, ooh, bro. Well, he's got to play the cards that he's got.
Yeah.
But
we see the detective. She's trying to get surveillance on Mr. Lee. And at the hospital, Mr. Lee tells Sue, you saw something you weren't supposed to. And he says, we were unlucky. He keeps saying that. We just got unlucky.
Yeah.
I'm
wondering. So it's like, as things unfold with Mr. Lee, I'm loving the fact that they are not clearing up for us about Mr. Lee and Jisoo's relationship, like going even deeper. I feel like they would need another episode.
There's this is it, the extent of it. They showed how they met. He contacted them, obviously just on the phone, and that's it.
Yeah.
He works with them.
I still wish they would have gave us a little bit more on Mr. Lee, but
I think they gave it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Especially in the next episode. We get a little more.
Yeah.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
I liked it.
We'll talk about the next episode.
Yeah. Okay. So this whole next scenes are Reed getting ready for this meeting with the gangster boyfriend guy. They want to meet.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, at this point, he doesn't know it's Ree, right? He doesn't know it's a woman, it's a girl.
Yeah.
A young girl. So she is willing to meet him and let him know. Like, I think that's risky because she's young.
Yeah.
And he might not respect her because she's a kid, his words.
Right.
So I'm wondering, why does she think she can handle this? She's going up against two adults who
Mhm.
do this business.
Right.
So that was interesting to me, that
Yeah.
I felt like she really thinks she can handle this, and that they're going to be okay dealing with the kid,
Right.
because gangster boyfriend thinks this is some, I'm picturing in his mind, well, who he's thinking this person is.
Yeah.
Some tough older man or something.
Yeah. I mean, they gave themselves a gang name and everything. So, it's kind of like he's expecting some gnarled, old, thugged out gangster dude come to walk through that door and
So
to
it
see two teenagers running this
I
bad boy.
know. So what happens is Ree shows up to the restaurant. She peeks inside and she sees that Sue is there
Mm-hmm.
instead of her.
Right.
And so what do you think Sue's thinking? He's like, no, you're not taking over my business. I'm not going to let you present yourself as the boss because this is my thing. Or is he thinking, look, I don't know. I feel like he's not thinking that he's protecting her. It's more, this is my show. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, I didn't think that deeply about it at all. I did think
Because
of
I
it
was like, why is
as
he there?
I thought of it as him protecting her.
Did you?
And yeah, to protect her real identity, because right now, right, it's like literally, if everything went bad, he would be the one to take the hit, right? He would be the one to get, killed and all of that. And so, in essence, he is trying to. Yes, I think he's also making a business move, but I think that it has more to do. I believe. Look, I'm going to tell you this, and this may be difficult for you to believe. I do believe that he genuinely likes her. That is genuine. And so if you assume that, then I think that the idea that he's protecting her is just not that far-fetched.
Okay.
But if you don't, then it makes no sense. Or it's just a business move.
So obviously she doesn't show up as uncle.
She shows up as a servant.
I know I think she just wanted Sue to know. She wanted Sue to know, like, look, I'm here. You weren't, kind of shake them up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is, okay, boyfriend gangster guy, his name is Ryu, tells Sue that he's going to have to drop out of school. You're my hostage.
Yeah.
Or have the rest of you sawed off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still kind of trying to figure out what's in Ryu's mind. He still wants their help, right? He wants their help to grow his business. Like, it's not, he doesn't have enough going on.
So wait, hold on. So the money thing happened already, right? Just like they're trying to figure out the
box of money?
The box of money had to have happened.
It has not happened yet.
No, they already set up the box of money.
Yeah. He set it up.
So stop.
The GPS is in there.
Oh yeah. No, I'm good. No, I was okay. For some reason I was having a hard time with the time order here, but gangster dude, his whole thing is to
take over.
No, he wants to kill this dude. He's trying to find the boss dude so he can kill him. He's not take over, but to be the only one. I mean, yes, he'll wind up inheriting the business, but that's not his motivation. His motivation is to save his not save, but his motivation is to get the guy who slept with his wife or who created that situation to sleep with his wife.
We've gotten so far down the rabbit hole. I forgot about that part. So he's also
that's still his motivation. He is as simple of a dude as you can imagine. Right. He's doing complicated things for a very simple reason.
For jealousy. Revenge, because he's the one. See, so he also wants to get the person in charge of creating this little business where his girlfriend was paying for sex.
Mm-hmm.
But they do the same thing.
Yeah.
But when people are not, when people don't have all their marbles, I mean, they do things that are not, we already saw that he does things that
He has a few standards, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's
they don't.
definitely.
Yeah, what, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of right now, but yeah. So he's almost like Kite. Like they
Yes,
both want somebody to pay for their girlfriend and what they did.
in order for their girlfriends to save face. This is the very Asian culture
Yes,
setup,
yes.
right? The whole saving face thing in the United States, we wouldn't need the saving face part.
Yeah.
We literally in the United States, there's a dramatic, like there's a thing, what is trope or something, um, a type of character that normally happens. It's called hooker with a heart of gold.
Ooh, never
Um,
heard of that.
yeah, it was in a film analysis class that I had at UCSD, and they were like, "This has comes up so much, right? The hooker with a heart of gold. It's like normally the place where you see it
Like
most.
Pretty Woman?
Yes, like Pretty Woman, but the place that you saw it the most was in westerns. Was
Mm,
westerns and stuff like that. And so you would just that
the
was such
Bar
a thing.
Girls.
That was such a thing that it just became a thing, right? It's like
Oh,
you
yeah,
a
yeah.
hooker with a heart of gold. And so in the United States, you don't need any transition from that moment of meeting and being attracted, and and then eventually you just transition right into the space. You don't need to save face. You don't need to, right? It's like it's now the whatever, right? It just transitions. While here, clearly, what we need for both Kite and the gangster dude is a fall person, someone to take the fall, someone to take the blame
Because they're
for,
also
because they're
invested.
girls,
Yeah.
so their girls, the women in their lives can be like I said, save face, right? And they can say, well, it wasn't me, it was someone else forced me to do it, and so now they can try to reclaim some of their
Wow.
womanhood, if you would. But that's the toxic masculinity route, by the way. So that's what we would call it. People can agree or disagree with that, but that is definitely the toxic masculinity, patriarchal route
Yeah. So
in that
going
space.
back to the box of money and the GPS, that was a gift that gangster boyfriend wanted to give Ree or uncle.
Yeah,
He ends up giving it to Sue and tells him, give it to your boss.
yeah,
It's a gift. And so we see Sue, after lunch, he's out with dinner or whatever. He's outside and he broke down. I think at
yeah.
that point, he realized how far this
Mm-hmm.
has gotten,
Yeah.
because now he's, held hostage.
Well, I don't think it's the hostage part. I think it was the quit. Well, it was the quit school part that got to
That
him.
too, everything. Well,
Yeah.
all of it. He had to quit school and he was going to have to be a hostage to, to this
Yeah, and
guy.
if we stay true to his motivation, his whole motivation for doing this, which I'm sorry, I don't mean to even laugh at this, but it's like it's the motivation that a lot of people in the United States attribute to women, in regards to, look, I'm doing all of this in order to pay for college. I'm doing all of this in order to pay for school, meaning whatever sex work that someone might be engaged in. It's like I'm doing this in order to pay for
Mm-hmm.
school. And so he's literally doing this to pay for school, also. And now that goal is being taken away from him, that's too much. That's too much for it.
Yeah.
That is the straw that broke the camel's
Because
back.
he's not thinking of this as a way of life.
Correct.
It's only,
He sees an exit strategy, like he has an exit point.
and you saw another scene, whether it's in this episode or the next one. Again, it was kind of a flashback where he's telling his teacher counselor, I just want to, live a life like you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this is just a means to an end
Right.
for him.
Absolutely.
Well, while you see gangster boyfriend guy, this is his lifestyle.
Correct.
And he's trying to keep it.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so we see another scene where this is kind of funny. The girlfriend, Mi Jung, she tells Ryu that we may be in over our head, or you may be in over your head. Like she's like, you haven't even talked to Uncle once. Maybe this whole thing's a scam. And so you see the banter between both of them also, where she's like, you always do stuff like this. And
the reason why he's not at this meeting because it's beneath him Right. I like that line in there. It's like he's not disrespecting you. Or he's
Yeah.
straight disrespecting you right now. You're not worth it. I was like, ooh. And yet you have both of the bosses sitting right in front of you, but they didn't know that.
Wasn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Ooh, they didn't even show that later. That would have been a good flashback when
Mm-hmm.
he sees her, when he picks her up and he sees
Mm-hmm.
her. If there was a flashback to the waitress,
They
they
didn't need it.
I thought that would have been kind of cool.
It could have been, but I don't. Yeah.
Because, like you said, they were both right there, and they didn't even know. Okay.
I still think, yeah. Well, we'll get to it.
So what happens is, so they're waiting for the bus. Sue forgets the gift, the box. Yes. I don't know if he forgets it or whatever, but it's there. He might have meant to leave it. Well, whatever. Though he leaves the box there on the bench and retakes it.
Yeah.
And the important part is the GPS is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So then there's a scene here at the hospital where the detective shows up, and this is where Mr. Because what happens is the detective is trying, she's figuring out something with Mr. Lee.
Yes.
So she wants, she gets some of her detectives colleagues to go to the hospital, look after them. Mr. Lee attacks them, and he leaves the hospital with Minhee.
Yes.
They end up leaving. This is okay. I already talked about that Sue had a little flashback of everything that has been happening, and that what he wanted for his future.
Yep.
And everything that just kind of led up to today. Let's see. And then we see, this is where we find out, okay, so we don't need to talk about that. So Ree goes to the school, and little side note, I'm like, why is the school open? Why can't she just walk into a school? Anyways, whatever, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
She hides
I think she has just access.
She hides the box in the couch with probably money in there still, right? So the gangster guys and the boyfriend, they're following her. And she is this where Ree gets a text? And is this from Sue when he says, how could you ruin me like this? I have nowhere to go.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, that's bad. And then Ree is caught.
Yeah.
Because they call her and she's like, look, I refuse the partnership.
Yeah. She tried to stand tall. She tried to stand tall.
And I thought, okay, good. I'm like, I was watching it going, okay, she's standing up to him. They're going to get out of it. I didn't even think she was being, I didn't think it. I didn't think that they were both going to be there. I kind of just forgot that they were following her. I thought it was just the friend. I thought it was the gangster boyfriend's friend that was just going to follow her and say, yeah, it's he did say it's a girl.
Yeah.
It's like a young girl or something. But they saw her, she answered the phone, and they knew she was talking.
Yeah.
They must have been hiding like in the dark.
Right.
And then I think maybe it's the next episode. So you ready to start the next episode?
Well, I want to say this is that she actually, like, in this moment, her boldness actually was, we'll see what winds up happening with the last episode, right? But her boldness of stepping into that room when Jisoo was with the gangster dude and his girlfriend, is working against her right now, right? Because literally, she could have made a lie if they didn't see her face, right? If they didn't see her face at that space. In this moment, she could have just been like, I just found a box. And so you're tripping.
Yeah.
Right. But because it was in that space and they could see her, now it's like, well, this is a wrap.
But also they saw her on the phone.
Yeah, correct. Like I said, it's like there's a lot of, people on their phone all the time. But I'm just saying that to me, like if I'm the gangster dude, I'm like that solidifies it for me. Right. It's like, so her walking into that space, and then, like I said, now you see her with the box, is like, nah, you come, we gonna get you now. There's nothing you can tell me that makes me think that you are not connected to this, right? And so, but if she wasn't in that space, I think there could have been some doubt, and maybe they don't do anything so drastic to her, but it is what it is.
I don't know. Okay,
No?
episode 9. Okay, this is
All right.
episode 9. You have your 3 sentences?
I do. And so episode 9, Jisoo to the rescue, but wonders what the future holds. Sentence number 2, Ree goes solo and insinuates that the gangster is Minhee's pimp to Kite. And sentence number 3, the big showdown between Kite's crew, the gangsters crew, and Mr. Lee.
What was your second sentence? Ree
goes solo and insinuates that the gangster is Minhee's pimp to Kite.
Does she? How? How does she insinuate that that would make sense why he's going after him? Your sentences are supposed to help jog my memory on what happened. And wait, how does she insinuate that?
So what happened was that Kite is has his nerd crew, has his minions searching for the pimp. Yes. Mm-hmm. Did you?
Oh, at the
cyber cafe.
So you're talking about when he got the message on the phone?
When she got the message on her,
yes,
on her trap phone,
and then sends a message to Kite to show up
at the banana karaoke place.
That's how that happened.
Okay.
Sometimes I get a little confused.
I'm not going to judge that.
I'm struggling taking a lot of notes. Sometimes I miss a scene.
Or the entire motivation of the scene.
Yes, sometimes that happens. That's why we both watched.
Okay.
That's why this is called Talk K-Dramas with Bruce and Alice. Okay.
Whatever makes you feel better, love.
There's an intro scene here. Mm-hmm. This is where Sue gets the call from Ryu. And it's so funny because he's like, how do you go around lying, especially to adults? I love that this guy has such high standards and morals. You can't lie to adults. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And so Sue kind of goes off and he's like, did you kill her? And then again, he's like, no, I didn't kill her. You're so extreme. It's hilarious. I don't know. Anyways, he's like, you're the one who lied first. You have a bad temper. That's what he's telling.
Yeah, he sure is. Yes.
Oh my gosh. That guy is kind of funny. I kind of like him.
I'll tell you what, if they would have did a whole little spinoff with him and his homie.
Oh my God, I'd love to see him in his own little movie.
Just like 4 episodes or something. Just a spinoff, 4 episodes. I would have loved that. I would have ate that up.
Me too. Because those two.
I'm just saying, I would have ate that up. But anyway,
so
he is funny. He is genuinely funny.
So
but you do get the sense. Oh, you know what? I'll wait for it.
Okay.
I'll wait for it.
So Mi-jung grabs a phone from him. She takes a picture of Ree.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, basically, she wants Sue there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, where are you? We're gonna pick you up. If you bring any cops, Ree is dead.
Yep.
So girlfriend's not messing around.
Yeah, that and the gangster dude's not messing around too, because he already is like, I think it's in this moment or the immediate moment next where he's like, I mean, we could just sell her to Russia or something like that. Or, I was just like, oh snap. I mean, I like the guy. I liked it. It's like you're laughing at him. He's funny.
But no. But I still would not want to mess with him.
A villain. He is evil. Absolutely.
It's funny because he has his his moral values just a little twisted. Like
you can say that.
He just has a little he will do something. I would not want to mess
evil.
with him.
Yeah, he is evil. He's evil. In Dungeons and Dragons, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. He would be lawful evil. It's like I'm evil, but I got laws. I got morals. There's rules, not morals. I got rules that I follow, and I expect other people to follow. So yeah, there's that. But I'm evil. Right? It's like he's evil, and that's the right juxtaposing what we the whole sex trafficking versus sex work right? Like that was to me, it was like I thought it was actually brilliant writing to juxtapose those two things in there, just so that we understand. It's like, okay, this is not what Jisoo and Ri are doing. They're not kidnapping people and selling them as sex slaves. This is different, right? And so again, it's an empowerment model.
So we have a new character comes in. So Mr. Lee and Minhyun go to meet up like an old colleague of his.
Yeah.
So they show a picture of them in like the US Air Force or some type of special.
I don't know if it's the US.
It said USA in the photo.
Oh,
there was a photo and there was a helicopter chopper and it said USA something, else we couldn't see it in the picture.
Okay.
So he was in but he could barely speak English. Or we don't know if he can speak English.
That is true.
Anyways, some special forces in the US. Maybe it makes him sound a little tougher.
I know, right?
Are we? We have I think so.
We definitely have, I mean, of course we have special forces in the United States. And so maybe that was, and maybe they don't have that for South Korea. And so therefore that gives, that makes them a lot more dangerous and believable.
So he tells his colleague, I need you to find someone in this field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering, I guess saying in the field what I do, because his friend probably knows what he does, right?
Yeah.
And then he says he drives a unique van. So again, the gangster boyfriend goofball has a manga character all over his van.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And so his colleague says, how long are you going to fight these wars? He's like, you're all alone. You build your own trenches and make declarations on your own. Yeah. So he's kind of like, he's still out there fighting wars.
Yeah.
But you can't get that out of your mind sometimes.
That's true. I mean, and he's, I keep on making the Dungeons and Dragons references. He's a paladin. He is fighting the righteous cause. It's kind of funny the way he's fighting it because, he was the enforcer for a pimp. But at the same time, it's like, again, he has morals, he has rules also, right? And so yeah, anyway, like I said, I wish they would have got in a little bit more, but I missed the whole US. I missed the US connection.
You know why? Because it was when he was pulling out the shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, this is when Mr. Lee shows up and he hears something, so he grabs a shovel. And then you see the photograph right there. So that's probably why you missed it.
No, I saw the photograph.
You just didn't see that.
I just thought, I didn't even think to look at it more closely. I just thought, well, I already know that he's in the military. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you did.
So, this whole time that they're there with the friend or the colleague, Minhee and Mr. Lee kind of have a little bonding thing. She tries to, be soft with him and fix his bandage. And then he tells her to go get food. And then she's like, you're trying to get rid of me because you're going to go kill those guys. And she does not want that to happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think now from her perspective. She's like, I don't know. What is she thinking? We're going to get ourselves in trouble. If you kill them, you're going to get in trouble. She does mention that later too. Like she does say something to him later about that. Maybe it'll come up. I don't remember. So the thing that makes Minhee and Mr. Lee's relationship makes sense. Yes, he is a protector, but it's bigger than that for her. Because remember, she's an orphan, right? She's living with her uncle and aunt because she's an orphan. And so Mr. Lee is clearly like a father figure to her. Or grandfather.
Right, or grandfather, however you want to say.
Because she says that later. She tells the detective that.
And so
teacher.
And so I think her motivation is actually way simpler also. It's just simply, I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
That's it. To me, like I said, I don't know if anything else needs to be read into that.
So this is the scene where, Mi-jung and Ryu, they're bickering at each other. And she's like, yes, I paid for sex several times. She says they have inventory. And then she says, this is the fourth industrial revolution. She goes, let's sit down and hear them out. They do business. And then she's like, they're better business people than you are. So I'm
Yep.
wondering the whole fourth industrial revolution. I'm kind of curious. I should have looked it up. What that means to the South Korean people. That would have been, and I'll look it up.
I am 99% sure, though, it means a technological.
Probably after the Korean War, and they really, you know what? South Korea really got together after the war to build themselves up and get out of debt. That's when they had the whole gold thing where the government was like, turn in all your gold. We're going to use this to pay down our debt. They had a huge debt. And like the whole country donated all their gold. I mean, it didn't necessarily make a huge dent, but it was the point where everybody got together. Everybody, got together to help their government. And you're right. It's when they fixed the city up. They did a whole bunch of things to better themselves. And look at them now.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she's talking about. Like, we're a strong people.
Right.
Look at everything we've done. That's probably what they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and we'll look it up. We'll see if we can throw that into the last episode when we watch it.
Yeah, because you know what? They do talk about it in the book that I read.
Okay.
That South Korean book that I read, they did talk about how they built themselves up.
Yeah.
After the war.
Yeah. So in the United States, we talk about our industrial revolution happened, but we don't say that there's other industrial revolutions. We have a industrial revolution that happened about the turn of the 19th century for us, a little bit before that. And then that's it. That's our industrial, but we don't talk about the automotive industry as another industrial revolution. We don't talk about the computer age as another industrial revolution. And so that to me is what I think they are talking about.
Yeah. So Ree wakes up and then she throws up all over Ryu.
Yeah.
And he like punches or kicks her.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about that.
Yeah. And then it's funny because this is where Mi-jung is looking at her phone and she's like, these kids are students. Like, look what they're spending their money on, highlighters.
Yeah.
And so we kind of touched on that. Like, they don't get it. This is not their life.
Right.
Or at least not Sue's. Mi-jung has, well, she's a student.
Or she was like, they're spending it on school.
Yeah.
What's that? Like, it was, yeah. Versus, money, fast cars, diamond rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a scene here. I think this is when Sue is kind of going a little crazy. He has this like little daydream, I think, of him and his dad drinking and making fun of each other, which is kind of funny because they're like, no, you're the biggest loser. No, you are.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny because, I mean, I think they took it in stride. Like, that's cool. You can do that.
Yeah.
Like, you and your dad would talk about who's better looking. I kind of saw a little bit like that. And
then that is true. My dad and I would talk about
Yeah. And then the culture, like, you can do that. You can talk to somebody and say you're a loser, because he's like, yeah, you're right. I thought that was kind of funny. And then the father's like, you should have been an orphan or died. And he's like, well, you're a single dad. I'm like, dang, that's like the lowest you could be. Well, we talked about that in another episode. Being a single parent is not looked at very highly in South
it's not
Korea.
Supported very much in the United States, but it is an acceptable like reality that we have here in the United States.
And then he had that little scene where with the counselor, his teacher, and he's like, who are you going to marry? Ree or Minhee, that little thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So back at where Ree is, she sees a knife in Minhee's purse. So she ends up stabbing Ryu, the boyfriend gangster guy. She stabs him.
So you're not saying it's Min-ji.
Min-ji.
Okay.
No, wait.
You said it's Ree sees the knife in whose purse?
Mi-jung.
Got it.
Purse. She grabs it. She ends up stabbing Ryu. I thought she would kill him. She looked like she stabbed him a few times.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But she doesn't. We see him later in a sling.
Yeah.
Was she stabbing his arm or something?
Apparently.
Okay. I really thought I was like, oh, she's going to kill him.
Yeah, I thought
kill
so
all
too.
of them. It's going to be over. But no, she doesn't. She doesn't kill him.
Which was very disappointing to me. I'm gonna just say that. It's like, look,
Yeah.
if you're gonna go all the way.
That's what I thought.
It's like you stabbing him and keep letting him live. All that's going to create even more problems.
But I don't think she meant. I think she probably thought she did. But then she grabs the girlfriend. Shows up. Mi Jung shows up. She's holding her against the knife, and I think this is where Ree comes in.
Not Ree.
Sue.
Yeah.
Sue comes in
because they went to go pick him up.
Yeah. They draw. Yes, you're right.
The other, the partner, the guy, the guy's friend, the guy's friend. Yeah. And, but Jisoo was, he woke up in the back of the trunk and he had his taser.
Yes, that's right. Tased the guy.
Tased him.
Gets in the car. And then goes
I still don't understand how he got that car past his friend without running the friend over.
I know, because the friend moved. I was looking. I thought he was going to run him over. Mm-hmm. He moved out of the way.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, because he zapped him and then he dropped. And then I'm like, okay,
I could have just kicked him out of the way.
That's true.
Whatever. Yeah. But you're right.
But I'm like, that again, it's like, to me, it's like, look, if you're going to go all the way, these folks are not going to go away. That was the part I was a bit frustrated, but they're trying to maintain the innocence of the kids, mm-hmm. right? And so I get it, but yeah.
So the mom ends up texting Ree, and Sue's like, "Well, what did you tell her?" And she's like, "Oh, extracurricular activity."
The name of the movie. The name of the movie got to get dropped someplace, right? And so that was it. That worked.
Ree and Sue are in the car and they're talking, and they're like, they're going to come after us, and they can't go to his house because they know where Sue lives. Mm-hmm. And she's like, they saw me, they picked me up at the school, so we can't go to the school. So they end up blowing up the car.
Just burning it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. And I'm like, was that necessary?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What, were they going to track the car?
No, it's not about tracking the car. It's about
what did I miss?
That is a thing. That is a technique that people use in order to destroy any evidence that you might have left behind.
I was thinking
fingerprints.
Yeah, because you see him wiping down the car, but I was just wondering, how are they going to get around? Like, why didn't they use the car to get out of town or something? Anyways, that's what I was wondering. But they end up going to a hotel. The Valentine
Hotel. There's GPS in cars. There's ways to. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. I was just thinking. I know. I was like, well, where are they? Don't they need to go somewhere? But you're right. They probably. Yeah, they just. But then they'd have to go to the cops to find the GPS of the car or something.
I think gangsters have a way of figuring stuff out.
Well, they found the car because they know they did see it. They knew that it was caught on fire.
Exactly the point. Right? It's like they found the car quick. Done.
So this is where was it Ree that asked Sue, do you still like me? Why did you come to save me? And then he almost kisses her. I was like, oh my God, no. So he almost kisses her.
I was hoping that would actually happen for him, because that'd have been the only moment. I think that'll be the only.
And so they hear a siren or something.
Yeah.
And then he
ruins the mood.
Is that what happens? Because she's like,
so
it's not the police.
Said, yeah. It was the ambulance, not the police. And so.
And he says,
then he goes hysterical.
Sue says, what do we do? He says, I want to stop now.
Yep.
It's a little late now, Sue.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So they find the car. We already said that. Ree leaves the hotel early without Sue. She takes off.
Yes.
Without shoes.
Maybe that's sneak out. I don't know.
And then me and he, it's like the next morning, he finds out that Mr. Lee took off. Yep. So she stayed true to her promise. She went straight to the detective. Mm-hmm. And then they talk about, she tells the detective about the van. Mm-hmm. There's a, character on it. So the detective's on that, trying to look for that car, and they find it. And then we have, this is like really fast, right? The last end of this episode.
Yeah.
Kite gets a text, and this is the text that we talked about earlier.
Right.
I thought it was from the banana karaoke. It's from Ree. Ree set this up.
Yeah.
Ree's the one that says, come
It's
here
like,
if you want to see
the
her.
girl.
Yeah.
Yep, come here if you want to see her.
I was wondering who that was. I didn't know it was Ree. How did you know? Did they show her typing it or something?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It just made sense to me, especially after Ree goes to the banana karaoke place.
I thought the guys saw, because they were looking up on the internet. So I thought, oh, one of the guys there saw that they're looking for Minhee. I don't, whatever. Okay. It makes sense now.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I don't want to try to explain that anymore.
Yeah. So Ree sneaks her way into the banana karaoke, via those girls that have no money and want to, do karaoke. Kite shows up with a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And they have what do they call those metal pipes? Like some steel pipes or something. And I was thinking, ooh, this is going to get ugly.
Yep. I mean, and it was a ton of dudes. It was not.
Yeah, it was a lot of guys.
Yeah, I'm like, this dude got a whole barbarian horde to go over there. Honestly, I'm going to tell you flat out, that was impressive. That actually made me that actually made, I still don't like Kite, but
he's a popular guy.
I actually appreciate him a bit more at this moment, because his crew allows Mr. Lee to do what he needs to do at the very end. That had
to happen. Yeah. Yes. So what happens is Kite shows up with all his guys. Ree is wandering around, and she gets caught by Ryu.
Yeah.
She uses a fire extinguisher on him.
Well, she's planning evidence. She's hustling though. She has a plan.
Because she plugged in her phone.
She put that phone there so that when the police come, that they'll have that phone, and
that's not what I was thinking.
Oh, really? No. What were you thinking?
No, I think maybe you're right. I thought she was
surely she's setting this thing up so that the banana karaoke people are going to take the fall. I was like,
oh, cool. Her phone's about to die. She needs to charge it. So she's going to put it underneath all the other phones. So if they walk in.
Are you kidding? You did not think that.
Yes, I did.
You did not think that.
Tell me I'm not the only one who was thinking. She's like, oh, great.
Hey, everybody, tell her she is the only one. Please, everyone tell Alice, you are the only one who thought.
Email us or go on Instagram. I need somebody to defend me.
There's no defense for that, love. I'm sorry.
I really thought her phone was dead, and she's like, "Oh, great, let me charge it."
She's planning,
and then so she put it.
She probably, as a matter of fact, she probably planted the phone that she texts.
Minhee.
The Minhee Connect.
Yeah.
She probably put that phone in there. And so to make it seem like that was the whole thing. Her whole thing is to set up the banana karaoke spot to take the fall for all the stuff.
I was wondering why she would go back there.
Yeah,
I'm like, she's too.
I'm sorry. That part was really simple to me.
She's very young to be thinking that she can go in and do that. I mean, I'm just like, and she's not scared.
She's terrified. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so she gets caught by Ryu.
Yep.
Then this is where
after she plants the phone.
Yeah. And then all the guys show up, and Kite's yelling at them from the window, and he turns around, and it's just and Ree is trying to run away. She ends up using a fire extinguisher on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives her a little bit of time. There's this huge brawl going on.
Huge brawl. Yeah.
Huge in there. And remember, so there are guys there. Remember, he had all his guys there.
Mm-hmm. They were off in a room.
Yeah, so they're all fighting. Mr. Lee shows up. He starts fighting.
Yeah, brass knuckle badass.
Yes, and I think this is where gangster boyfriend guy doesn't die yet. He has Ree again. He captures Ree again.
Mm-hmm.
Sue comes in, kind of saves her from him. for a minute, for
yeah,
just a minute,
yeah.
not even a minute. And then another guy grabs Sue. Boyfriend
Yes.
gangster guy is able to get Ree again. He's grabbing her by the hair, and Ree tells Sue to run.
Yep.
And I feel like he was like, "What do I do?" Was
Yeah,
there a moment where
he
he didn't
pondered it.
know?
He pondered running. But yeah, that hesitation.
So the guy,
I don't. You know what? I don't know if he pondered running is so much as he pondered what he needed to
I think
do.
so. I think maybe he was wondering what would be the
Like,
best
what
strategy.
can I do? Yeah.
Well, he gets
Do
caught.
I run away and come back because I'm going to save her? I don't think it was a question about whether he was going to save her or not, or get involved, stay involved in this, or whatever. It was just, what do I do? And then it was just too late.
So he drops the hat. He drops the hat that Minnie.
Yeah.
And
that was a great plant, by the way.
Yeah.
I was just like,
so I was thinking when he dropped it, I was like, oh snap, Kite. I'm thinking this whole time, what is Kite gonna show up and they're gonna be like, it was Sue. Sue's the pimp. That's what I just kept thinking. I'm like, when is it gonna happen where Kite and Sue are together and it comes up, it's revealed that it was Sue all along. So I don't know, but he drops the hat. You see Mr. Lee and he is beat up. He has a brass knuckles. And he beats up the guy that has Sue. And then we see Ryu, the gangster boyfriend, run up to the rooftop.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lee tells Sue, let's never meet again. And he goes up to the rooftop and Ryu stabs him, pierces him with this big thing. And they just keep fighting back and forth. I don't know if, I think Mr. Lee maybe wins, but I don't know if Ryu's dead. He's laying in that little pool of bloody water.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead as a doornail. You can't get hit that many times with brass knuckles.
Yeah.
If it was just regular punches, you're right. But
he does stab again. He stabs Mr. Lee. He's able to stab Mr. Lee.
No, but dude gets beaten to the ground. Yes, he stabs Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee falls over and then comes and then gets back up and then pummels him.
So we see a quick scene where Minhee's just at school. It was quick, but she's at, all of this is happening and going on kind of because of her, and she's at school sitting there.
Well, I didn't realize she was at school. I thought she was in the police offices.
Oh, maybe it looked like she was at school, like she went to school.
I thought she was in a police office.
Oh, okay, maybe I didn't look at it real quick. I just,
because all the stuff started zooming past and everything.
Oh, maybe she is. The point is she's safe. All of this is going on because of her, and she's not even there. She's wherever she is, safe. That's what I thought was interesting. Whether she was at school or the police station.
Yeah.
And this is the end of the episode. They're at the banana karaoke. The brawl continues. The detective shows up and asks for backup.
Yep.
And they take all the high school guys out. All the police officers.
They caught, whoever they could catch.
They take them out. And the detective woman goes up to the rooftop and she sees both of them there. She sees Ryu, I guess, dead on the ground, and Mr. Lee just sitting stumped over somewhere. Is he dead?
There's no way he's still alive, but we don't know that.
All that blood loss, and pretty tough guy. He got stabbed a few times, and that with the
I'll tell you what, there is room for the idea that he could still be alive if they acted fast enough, and everything. Maybe. But
okay,
I think he took too many hits going up.
This is Talk K-Dramas with Bruce and Alice. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done.
Yes, you did. Yes,
okay. In my defense, we do have a doctor's appointment, me and Alana. So that's all. But you're right. We will find out. We got one episode left. So we gotta go.
Bye.